Good morning, Matt.
What's up, Rick? How you doing, man?
Good, buddy. Welcome back to the podcast.
Yeah, you say that every time.
Alloy Personal Training Business Podcast.
Yeah. So what's up?
You, man. I'm just going to dig right in today. I don't have a lot of stories for you.
Nothing?
No.
Tell me about that shirt. What you got going? A little Viking on there.
Oh, yeah. I went to visit my son out on the Olympic Peninsula. He's stationed out there on the submarine base. He's an officer on a submarine out in Paulsbo, Washington. Now, that's not where the sub base is, but it's like one exit from there. But Paulsbo is like a little Nordic town, which is interesting because my daughter-in-law is from Sweden. So the whole Viking culture, right? And then they end up moving to a town on the Olympic Peninsula that was founded by a Norwegian guy, which is very similar to me. It's kind of all the same, but to her it was a little different. But she can actually understand and speak and hear and understand some Norwegian language because it's very close to Sweden. So, but yeah, everything's Viking there. They have like Viking coffee, Viking tattoos, Viking brewery, Viking this, Viking that. I did. I got this same Viking on my shirt is on my back. Well, I got a smaller one on my lower back as a tramp stamp. Yeah, you can only see it if I wear a half shirt and bend over to pick something up.
See how easy that was to get a story out of him? All I had to say is something about a shirt.
I know. Like, I don't want to talk a lot about frivolous things today, Matt. Let's get to it. One question and 10 minutes later, and he's like, okay, can we get back on?
One dirty joke, and there we go.
That's it. It's over. But I do want to talk about something specific, and it's an interesting lens to look at your business, right, as an entrepreneur. And I think it's something that you and I have talked about a lot and that we see. And the title of the podcast is Your Baby's Not That Attractive, or Your Baby's Not That Cute. Or how about Your Baby's Ugly? We'll call it that.
All right, we're just going right in.
Have you ever seen an ugly baby?
Yeah.
I have too. And it's always odd when someone shows you a picture of their baby and it's an ugly baby.
There's a great Seinfeld episode on that.
Yeah, well, it's true, right? Yeah, I remember that. But the statement will go, and you and I talk about it through the lens of like, if you create something, basically entrepreneurs are the mothers of their babies, which are their businesses, right?
Sure. So
this has manifested itself for us where, because we're programming for so many different gyms, someone that's invented some product, a fitness product, will send it to us to test it, because they know if it makes it into our programming consistently, a bunch of gyms that work with us are going to buy it so that they can also put it into their programming. So It's smart then to send us something. Well, needless to say, we get a lot of things, and a lot of them some of them are great and some of them are not so great. And I always laugh because I task Lucky Matt here with telling people, in my words, that their baby's not as cute as they think it is, right?
Yes. There's some great conversations.
Right. It's like, hey, can you look at this fitness product? And you're like, what the hell is this? I'm like, I don't know. Just tell the guy we can't use it.
They think you're so excited about it. It makes it worse.
I know.
That Rick loves it. I'm like, does he?
Yeah. I know. Well, because I'll just be like, yeah, man, it looks great. Well, listen, I'm going to get you over to Matt. And then that gives them the impression that I love it.
Can't tell them your secrets, man.
You're right. Good cop, bad cop. Yeah, if you send me stuff and I say I love it, I don't even know what it is. It's going to Matt, and he's not going to like your baby unless it's actually cute. Not mother cute, but actually cute. But if you think about that, a lot of us do that in business, right? And so I was re-listening to a chapter from The Road Less Stupid, which is my current favorite business book. And I just go through a chapter a day. Yeah. They're all unrelated. And then I take a few notes, and it always hits me different because I'm in a different place almost every day as an entrepreneur in a mindset wise. And they talked about this one, and your baby's not as cute as you think it is. And the way that they explained it made a lot of sense to me through the fitness industry, because we've worked in the past with lots of entrepreneurs that they create something, right?
Yep.
And to them, it's just amazing. And then we look at it, we come in as a business advisor or consultant, and we look at their business and it's not doing well. They don't have a lot of memberships, or, their memberships are priced too low, or it's just, again, the baby's just not that cute. But to them, it's amazing, right? And so I think the way that Keith, is it Campbell? What's his Cunningham. God, why do I say that? I know a guy named Keith Campbell. That's why I say that. So the way that Keith Cunningham, the author, explains it is, and so I love this. He's like, nobody cares about your passion around your product, right?
Right.
They just don't. And they don't care. They're not buying your service, in this case, because it's your life's work. That doesn't matter to people.
Right.
Like, you think it does. It really doesn't, right? If people bought based on passion, why would McDonald's be the number one restaurant in the world? Mm-hmm. He uses an example in the chapter to say, if you were celebrating a special event, like a graduation or something like that, would you take, if you're above the age of 12, would you want to go to McDonald's to celebrate a milestone event in your life? And the answer is no. Yet that company, McDonald's, is the most successful restaurant company in the history of restaurant companies ever.
Because why?
Well, because they have a scalable model that fits a niche in the market, right? And it's not about the product. That's the hard
customers
thing.
And fills that need, right?
100%. It's like, how does he describe this? It makes a lot of sense. People are either trying to solve pain or get out of pain, right? Prevent pain, right? Or
make gains,
some kind of a net gain in their life. That's the only reason they buy a product or service, right?
Right.
And so if you are focused solely on what you do, that's the first problem, is that you're seeing it through the lens of yourself and what you like and don't like. And how many trainers have we seen, they open gyms dedicated to a single modality because they're kettlebell freaks, or because they like CrossFit, so they open a CrossFit, right? And the problem is you're not looking at it through the right lens. It doesn't mean that you don't try to make your product great. I mean, if you look at McDonald's as an example, I would say the fitness equivalent to that would be Planet Fitness. How many fitness professionals do you hear and look and see throwing shade at Planet Fitness because they serve pizza on Thursday nights, or because they have a bagel day, right? I was one of those people. I'm a diehard personal trainer guy. I eat well. I live the lifestyle. But if you really look at what Planet does, and this is why they do so well, much to the chagrin of the fitness industry,
right,
is because they say for 30 years, people just want to go to a gym, do some cardio, do some light weights, and go home. We're just trying to meet them right where they are and create a safe environment.
Right. Make it easy for them.
Right. And they're filling a need and a gap, solving a problem for that person, checking that box. That's all they're doing. They're not trying to do any more than that. They're not in love with their product. They're in love with their customer, right? So I'm giving props to a company that we've literally picked on and made fun of, and that everyone else, certainly in the personal training world, makes fun of.
Yeah,
but I'm also, right, yeah, they're laughing all the way to the bank because, the largest franchisee of Planet was here in our town, and they were doing, they had 170 something stores doing almost $1 million per store. I mean, it's $170 million.
It's a lot of pizza.
Yes. Yes, it's a lot of pizza. And so Domino's was their favorite vendor. But you know what I'm getting at? And so when I say it maybe through the lens of our listeners in boutique fitness, it's like, look, you guys, just because you love something and you've spent your whole life learning it and your education has gone there, the market, not people, but the market doesn't really care. They just don't. Yeah. And so that's the first problem, is no one cares how much passion you put in it. They're not buying your passion. They don't give a shit if it's your life's work. That's not what it's about. If it's not filling a need for them relevantly and at a price point or whatever, if it doesn't tick all the boxes, nobody cares how passionate you are. They really don't.
Right.
So if you want to go barefoot in your gym because you think it grounds you to the earth and you're wearing toe shoes to the grocery store, have at it. But I can tell you right now, no one's buying that. They don't care.
Right.
Because that's an outlier. That's a thing that you like. Hard to sell that, and nobody cares. They're not buying it for that reason, right? And secondly, the challenge with being so focused on what you do and perfecting exactly what you do is if you're doing that all the time and you're not looking at it through the lens of your customer, it's very self-serving, right? You should only make the changes and do the things that your customers tell you that you need to do. And I think we've done a really good job of this, especially over the last 10 years, because we got to see a lot of different models at scale working in the licensing industry. And we got to see what worked and what didn't. And it completely changed my view. So those of you guys that you're in one gym and you live the lifestyle and it's like, you're all about it, right? That's great. But I will tell you that until you get more perspective, it's hard to understand that there's a lot of relevant models out there that aren't that sexy. Their service isn't that great. Maybe the workouts are technically all wrong, right? But they fit this interesting segment in the market and they do it well and they monetize it, and they're very successful companies and they pay their bills. And so I would just say to anyone listening that's more independent, do what we've done over the last 10 years, is like, trust the fact that like there's things out there that work that you might not like, but it doesn't matter, because what you should be focused on is what your consumer wants. Not what you want, right? It's very narcissistic to say, well, I love this, so I'm going to like shove this down everyone's throat and make them love it as well. And you think your passion will overcome that. The market and business after business after business will tell you it will not.
Right.
Passion is one thing. And listen, as an entrepreneur, like it might get you to wake up early and work hard. And if that so be it. But don't get it twisted. It's not going to make people buy your product because you're passionate about it.
I mean, a passion to help somebody is a lot different. I mean, I think really what we did well is we systemized things where then it allowed us to put the customer first, right? And it's not opposed to fitting the customer in the system. It's like, all right, these are the way to do things. And then it's all about, again, the customer experience and all for them, what they want, right? That's what we figured out. I mean,
100%.
It's not about what tools you use, this, that, and the other. Those are just like that. They're just tools. Sub anything in and out.
Yeah, well, and you've done a great job of that as program design. And again, I feel like every podcast, when I go back and listen to it, if I can even stand to, I talk incessantly, and then Matt comes in about 3 seconds and summarizes everything I was trying to say very well and simply. So thank you, because that's what he's here for, to actually communicate what I'm trying to say. But that was a perfect way to articulate what I'm trying to say. So great job. And you've done a great job of even more so over the last few years as we've tidied things up for franchising. It's like, what are the things that are really important, that are scalable? And do we have an ego in areas where maybe we shouldn't around some things, right? And things get crazy in our industry. You know, if you guys are on the personal training side, you can get into, rehab specialist or preventative and corrective, and you got 14 bands in a bag and 34 things attached to people. It's like, okay, is this what my customer wants, or am I just nerding out on what I like and then somehow having to force feed it to my customer?
This is really cool. And yes, client, they don't even know what the hell they're doing or what they're working on.
Right. And they might like it because you like it, kinda, but probably not. And I will tell you that it won't help you grow your business. And so, to your point, Matt, the real passion should be around helping people, not how you help people, right? And if you have a passion around that, you're actually being self-centered and narcissistic. And we've talked about this before. What makes a good coach is someone who doesn't get married to what they like. Like, I'm a power lifter. All my clients are going to power lift. Terrible mistake. I'm a bodybuilder. Everybody's going to bodybuild. Not a great idea. So disassociate yourself from that. Look at things through the lens of your customers. Really listen to your customers and deliver on what it is that they want. And then put passion into just helping people by any means necessary.
Right.
And if you do that, now you're cooking with oil. Now passion is important, but it's not going to help if your passion is about doing what you like to do all day, every day.
Always goes back to that job of your product, right?
Yeah.
Why are people even coming to see you? What are you even solving for them? Right.
What would you say, and of course this is an off question, I'm not trying to gotcha, but what would you say in a personal training brand, what are we really doing for people, if you had to guess, if you had to sum it up into a couple of words?
Community, accountability, specificity.
That was a good one. Easy for you to say. Exactly. Well, right. And when we look at our success stories, if we really listen, and this is key, you got to be a good listener. You can't just somehow, again, you're not trying to retrofit what you do into this narrative, right? You've got to listen to the customer. What do we always hear?
Worked around my injuries.
Held me accountable, right? To your point, I mean, that was it, essentially.
Trainer's super nice. Love my workout buddies.
Everyone knows my name.
Everybody knows my name.
It's a real friendly place.
I've been doing this a while, so I always use the Cheers reference to new members. We're Cheers, and everybody knows your name. Starting to run in where people actually don't know what that Cheers is anymore.
What the hell is Cheers? I'm like, oh yeah, you're in your 20s. There's a show where everyone knew everyone, right?
Yeah.
Well, most of our clients know what it is, so that's helpful in our population segment. But yeah, you summed it up. And so if we knew that that's what our customers are speaking to us, and we're really listening, then we just build things that do that.
Right.
Does it matter if we're doing a kettlebell snatch or a swing or swinging overhead or this or that? No, none of that, right? So let's build things that don't hurt people, and let's put our energy into what the customer tells us they want. And by the way, this manifests itself as your marketing message. This came up the other day. I was talking to someone in our organization, and we were talking about the imaging that we're using in some of our digital ads, right? Mm-hmm. Credit to our vendor who's helping us with some of our digital ads. Is they're split testing different images that work well. And the biggest engagement that we get are with images that even from my ego got involved, where I'm like, that really doesn't fit our brand. Someone who's completely deconditioned, right? Who doesn't look aspirational in air quotes. But guess what? There's a niche in the market. We're the only brand that can relevantly service people that are dinged up or older or maybe really out of shape, right? They can't go to these other brands.
Right.
That's the differentiator for us. That's what our customers tell us. I tried all these things. I had a bad knee, couldn't do it. I never could stick with exercise. I'm not a gym person. I hated the gym until I came here. How many times have you heard that?
Yep.
So why would we show an ad around our ego, that would show a super buff person doing a workout? Because we want our colleagues to think that we do kick-ass programming. Who cares, right? Right? Who cares? McDonald's doesn't care if Whole Foods thinks their hamburgers are good nutritional quality.
Nope.
They're selling billions of them. What do they care, right? And so at least we're doing fitness, which is healthy in any regard. So why would we care? Like at the end of the day, if our customer speaks back to us and we listen and we build everything in our business, all the machine, if you will, is built around that.
Right.
We're in a good spot. So again, that's all I have to say about this today. It was just on my mind because we went through it with marketing. You've talked about it a lot with programming, and I still see it a good deal in our industry. And if you're looking at an Alloy personal training franchise, just know that there's tons of integrity around the programming and all the habit change and all the things that we do, but it's all done through the lens of the consumer. So it speaks well, it markets well, and it's sticky, which gives us that 36-month stay for a customer.
Allegedly.
Anything to add? Yeah. Anything to add?
No, man, you hit it.
All right, man. I
Great
appreciate
job.
it. Thanks.